So yesterday was our first official day of fieldwork.
We visited a school that has on the grounds, as part of their storage buildings, as part of their dormitories, it has buildings which were originally built as part of a detention camp.
We found a really helpful gentleman, Mr. Murezi, and he had been at the school for a very long time. He was able to tell us what the school had modified and what was still intact.
This is another cell. You can see the barbed wire now.
Oh yeah! Which is very interesting from a reconstruction perspective, because it's very good to know what changes have been made to a structure. Then you can be able to see what's original or try and visualize how it looked before.
And this is incredible because we were led to believe that there was virtually no buildings at all from any detention camp surviving anywhere in Kenya. He showed us all the different buildings, like where one of the original doors of the cells that had spy holes in had been reused but turned upside down, so that what was at eye hole level, so the guards could look at the prisoners, is now around your ankles. He showed us one of the solitary confinement cells where the prisoners were held in ankle-deep water to torture them so they couldn't sit for days or hours on end.
It was really interesting to note that the community, the local community, still are very aware of the purpose of these buildings, but this hasn't exactly been communicated to the students. And in a way, I think this represents the intergenerational gap in history where it's not continuous. So some of our historical narratives are not continuous. They stay with one generation and they sort of skip the next. So it was really interesting to see this school, which it looks fantastic, the grounds look very good, but to imagine that it was a detention camp where possibly several people were tortured, hanged, or forced into labor.
We saw quite an amazing stretch where the very wide, very deep ditch that surrounded the camp still survives in part, which again we were led to believe this is virtually unheard of, that these ditches have all been filled in and the land's been reused. What
struck me was the size of it, the sheer size of the trench, because I never imagined that it would be that big. So this was about approximately 20 foot wide and 10 feet deep. You could still see the curvature and the slope in the land, despite the fact that banana trees had been planted.
So to see what was so clearly the original ditch, just a few meters away from the edge of what was cell blocks, running at a right angle around what was clearly the perimeter of the camp, was remarkable. Overall, it was a really remarkable experience to see such a huge amount of surviving infrastructure of a detention camp. It really made it easier to understand to the stories, the memories that we've heard, that we've read, to see these physical spaces here.